morning, and thank you for joining Local 5's first 5 p.m. here on WFRV Plus. I am your off-centered host a little bit here. Indiana Shills. Yeah, it's been kind of a chaotic day, I won't lie. Unfortunately, we're down a man today, so Devin and I, my boss, we've been just hammering away at election stuff and all the content that we're getting today, and things have been a little chaotic. I just posted Nathan Himsel's article on Facebook, and apparently the link doesn't work, and there's nobody here to do it right now. So the link's going to sit there until we're done with this show, or if I can do it in between breaks here real quick, but I don't think I'll have enough time. But yeah, it's been a chaotic day for sure. But we carry on. That's the news. That's honestly one of the more fun parts about working in news is every day is different. Today, you know, a little more news to cover, a little more things to be aware of and stuff like that. So just being able to manage all of it, sometimes it can feel overwhelming, I won't lie, but also it's about how you work under pressure. And, you know, some people say that's nuts, but to me, it's kind of fun. I kind of enjoy just dogging it out and trying to stay up with stay afloat, I guess is a good word. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into the news. Unfortunately, it is just me today. McKenna Gallenberger, our assistant news director, was expected to join the show, but unfortunately, some stuff came up, and she is producing our 6 p.m. We lost a reporter package, so she had to fill all that time, and it just wouldn't have made a lot of sense for her to join the show when she's already crammed with a bunch of stuff. So I'll take it from here. We'll go ahead and talk about the stories happening in and around our community, like I say all the time during my live shot. We're going to start off first and foremost with Blake Borths. Where is his story here? Here we go. So Blake, you know, today's election day. There's not a ton of elections in Northeast Wisconsin, but this is the first time Wisconsinites are back at the polls in 2026. First of 4 times. The spring primary election is one of the least attended elections due to some counties not even having anything on the ballot, but 7 of the 14 counties in our viewing area do have elections, so we're still covering those, following those closely. Blake Borths, he talked about a new technology that's changing how people are voting. Now, it allows them to check in quicker and take care of all that stuff, which allows them to get to the polls quicker and then in and out quicker. Obviously, a more efficient process. I'll let Blake take it away from here. Here's Blake's reporter package.
Election day is here in Northeast Wisconsin, but only some voters are able to take part in the spring primary. Not everyone has something to vote for. In fact, about half the counties in Northeast Wisconsin don't even have an election. WFRV is following 16 races in our entire viewing area. In Green Bay, residents have the Brown County Board and City Council races to vote for. And Local 5's Blake Borths says voters here are being greeted with some new technology.
Here at Calvary Lutheran in Green Bay, voters in the 31st and 32nd wards have one item on the ballot for Brown County Supervisor District 10 between candidates Pete Borchardt, John Schultz, and John Vanderleest. Citywide, they've received more than 1,600 absentee ballots.
We've been trending. About a third of our ballots are absentee and about 2/3 of them are at polls. That's how we've been trending, except for November of 24, we had almost 45% of our ballots were absentee, so that's a little bit of a change.
Voters saw new technology at Green Bay polling locations, like the Badger Book. It's a new way to check in and identify voters faster, getting them to their ballot quicker.
People sign like you do at Festival when you pay by your credit card. So you sign on a screen, and everything is recorded electronically on a stick. So there's no paper poll books in those locations. The plan is to roll them out to 9 locations for the April, August, and November elections.
The Badger Book is the only electronic poll book that is legal to use in the state. The city clerk says it streamlines the work being done on Election Day and makes voting easier than ever before.
They limit a lot of extra work that the poll workers have to do on Election Day. They also limit and streamline the work that we have to do to reconcile the election afterwards. So we're very excited to have those as an addition.
In Green Bay, Blake Borths, Local 5 News.
polls will remain open until 8 p.m. tonight. Make sure to stay with Local 5 with your updated election results and coverage as the evening progresses.
So yeah, that's good stuff from Blake Bortz there. I would just want to quickly remind you guys that Governor Tony Evers, he's having the State of the State address that will actually air live here on WFRV Plus. So if you want to take a look at that, you can see that. And then there's also going to be extended coverage of elections. We'll kind of have like a rotating slideshow of updates on how things are going throughout the counties. And like I said, there's not a ton of big major things happening, but there are still things that people care about. So that will be available on WFRV Plus from I think about 7 to 8:30 possibly. I'd have to check the exact schedule, but that is what we're looking at for elections. Now, obviously, it's nice and warm right now. Local 5's Brianna Reinhardt. She's working on Lake Winnebago ice safety. They're actually recommending cars to not drive on the ice now because of this big warm up that we've had. But she is working on that right now. We'll get more information on that coming up. But moving on to some more stuff here, let's go ahead and let's take a look. Yeah, the Green Bay, speaking of continuing, I guess, with weather real quick, Green Bay is closing their ice rinks for the season amid warm weather. There's a photo on our website at wearegreenbay.com, and there is the ice rink is really not even there. There's it's like half full or like has half ice, but yeah, it's unfortunately not suitable for skating or any other activities. So they are closing that down for the rest of the winter season. Now, one thing that my buddy Nick Whitwer, digital content producer, you guys know him from the near fall, he was really excited on Sunday when they teased this. But Shinedown, if for those of you who don't know Shinedown, they're a pretty popular band. They're going to hit the road for their Dance Kid Dance Act 2 tour. And it starts right here in Green Bay on Wednesday, May 13th at the Resch Center. The tour will also include a stop just 3 days later at the Kohl Center in Madison. Special guests, let's see how we say it, Coheed and Cambria, Blackstone Cherry, those darn crows. They don't say darn. And then From Ashes to New will be joining Shinedown on tour, but only for select dates. At both Green Bay and Madison shows, Shinedown will be joined by Coheed and Cambria and Blackstone Cherry. Tickets, they will go on sale on Friday, February 20th at 10 a.m. They can be bought over the phone, online via Ticketstar, or in person at the Ticketstar box office inside the Resch Center. Excuse me. So, some events that you could possibly attend there. And then one thing that was really interesting today that I had happened to come across is one of Lake Superior's most remarkable winter attractions. It's officially open for the first time in nearly a decade, though access may be temporary. There's a little bit of a spin on this story. The National Park Service, they announced that the mainland ice caves at Apostle Island National Lakeshore, it's open for the season, marking the first public access appearance since 2015. Now, the photos are breathtaking of this place, but here is the bad news now. The caves, they opened yesterday. They are actually going to be closed for the next couple days due to an approaching winter storm up there. Now, when conditions permit, visitors can view towering red sandstone cliffs shaped by wind, wave, and ice, along with an intricate ice formations and frozen waterfalls along Lake Superior's shorelines. Park officials do caution that reaching the caves requires a strenuous hike of roughly 2 to 6 miles round trip across uneven lake ice. There is no shelter, water, or reliable cell service along those routes. Conditions can change rapidly, and access may close with little notice if the safety thresholds are not met, such as the one over the next couple days. Officials said the entrance fee is $5 per person, can be paid online in advance. Parking is not permitted at Myers Beach or along State Highway 13. Visitors, they must use county-approved shuttle services and designated off-site parking areas. Waterproof boots with traction devices are strongly recommended. Those who have already purchased Ice Cave access passes but were unable to enter due to the closure, they will have their purchase honored for a future date. Park officials, they encourage visitors to monitor conditions closely and plan ahead if the caves reopen following the winter storm. All right, we're going to head to our first commercial break. I'm going to try to fix that link for Nathan Himsel's article. let's see if we can do it in a minute, but we'll be right back. Stay tuned, guys. Thanks for tuning in to First 5 p.m. Welcome back to Local 5's First 5 p.m. here on WFRV Plus. Oh, what a day it's been. I'm trying to fix our boy Nathan Himsel's article here, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like things have gone well, and yeah, let's just say it has gone off the rails, and we'll have to figure it out. That's the way news works. It would really be helpful if we had another person here today, but unfortunately, like I said, we are a man down. So we'll be able to rock and roll with that. Let's go ahead and we'll just worry about that after the show. Let's go ahead and quickly, one thing I did want to do today is actually break down some of the UW Green Bay basketball schedules here. So let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and talk a little bit about Green Bay. So they went on a nice little winning streak here to end the very first, or I guess kind of in the back half of the season here. A nice overtime win over Northern Kentucky. Then they beat Detroit Mercy, beat Purdue Fort Wayne on ESPN2. And then, everybody knows what happened on Sunday. Coach Doug Gottlieb was quite the character. Wasn't too happy with the way the officiating was, but Marcus Hall, he looked great, dropped 32 points, 7 rebounds. So they end up at Oakland now in the next game, and then at Detroit Mercy before finishing off the season in Green Bay at the Crest Center against Youngstown State. It's going to all depend on, obviously, they're not the favorite to win the Horizon League. I think right now they might be 4th or 5th. But you never really know what happens. I mean, especially for these mid-major teams, in the Horizon League, it's just about getting hot at the right time. Because if you win your conference tournament, you get an automatic at-large or automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Will Green Bay get that automatic bid? It all depends on how seeding works out. I think they certainly are capable of contending for a Horizon League title. They're not the best team in the Horizon League, but they certainly can pull off upsets like we've seen in the past. Now, a couple games that I noted earlier in the year, they played some really good teams. I mean, they started their season off against number 9 Kansas, which, not the easiest task in the world. And then Buffalo lost to St. Thomas there. A really nice game against Minnesota, a Big Ten team. Now, Minnesota is not the most talented Big Ten team in basketball this year, but they still are a Big Ten team. They have Big Ten caliber players. They're definitely, on paper, better than UW Green Bay. So keeping that one close is really nice. It would have been even better to squeeze out a win there. But then we move on to the Paradise Jam. They lost to Yale, who looks like a pretty good team, but they kept it very close against Yale. So that's another thing that, it just shows that they can really compete with anybody if they just play their game. A good win over UMass, who is technically a higher caliber team than them. Iona, maybe about the same. Iona has previous tournament experiences, but now that Rick Pitino is out of Iona and over at St. John's, the program has kind of tapered off a little bit. Now, getting into conference play, this Robert Morris game would have been a nice win, 2-point loss. Wright State, obviously one of the best teams in the Horizon League. I believe the favorite to make the tournament. I think they are first in the Horizon League. So you want to see this one get a little closer. Now, it was on the road as well. You go back down here, you look at Wright State, a little closer at home, 75-83. It just shows, like I said, that they can really play with anyone in the Horizon League right now. And if they can just string together a couple nice wins when it comes to playing in that tournament, get hot at the right time, make a quote unquote, I wouldn't even call it a Cinderella run, but that's what March is all about. So As for these next couple games, it would be nice to take 2 of 3. I think they could beat Detroit Mercy. They've shown that they've beat them before here. Now, against Oakland, their last result was a blowout, and that was at home as well. They're going to go on the road. So I don't know how they'll fare against Oakland. We could be looking at a loss here, a win here, and then against Youngstown State, they lost a pretty close game that was at Youngstown State's arena. I could see loss, win to end the season, get hot right before the season ends, and then move on to conference tournament play, which would be nice. Let's shift over to the UW Green Bay women's team now, who have looked very, very good all year, but they are coming off 2 losses in the Horizon League. They were perfect in the Horizon League until February 11th when they fell by 1 point to Cleveland State at Cleveland State. And then they ended up losing on Saturday, the first game where they really just did not look like the typical Green Bay team that you're used to seeing. They lost 59-77. Now, if we quickly jump into here, we had Megan Schultz with 16, but that's not, you're going to need more from your leaders. Jenna Geyer is going to have to step up a little more. And it was just a tough shooting day overall for the team. I mean, they started off hot, up 20-11, but then just nothing was falling after that, putting up 12, 13, and 14 in those second, third, and fourth quarters. You're going to want to see at least around 20 points each quarter in order to be a competitive women's basketball team. As for their next couple games coming up here, got Milwaukee. They beat Milwaukee pretty handily at Milwaukee, so I have no doubt that they'll go ahead and take this one. It is senior day as well, something that means a lot to the seniors in the program. They play IU Indy, who they had previously. Where are we here? They blew out IU Indy, so I have no doubt that's another win. And then Purdue Fort Wayne, I think, is one of the, if I recall, one of the better teams in the. Let's see here. Let's see if we can go ahead and go to their website here. I don't want to just be talking to talk here, but women's basketball, let's look at their schedule. They are 16-10. So, still a solid team. What if we look up real quick? Horizon League women's basketball standings. So, take a look at the Horizon League here. We'll go back to full screen. I see this is working well. Hello? You want to load here for me, please? Trying to do a show. If you don't want to, we can try to figure it out elsewhere. We can hear CBS Sports. Will this work? Nothing decides to work. All right, here we go. So, jumping in, we got Green Bay 15-2 in the conference, like we said, on a 2-game losing streak. Youngstown State, they're solid. IPFW, which is the team we were just talking about, that is the men's schedule. Let's go back here. So they end up with the 3rd ranked team in the Horizon League. This one I think will be a little closer than that first matchup because it is in Fort Wayne, Indiana. They are on the road for the final game of the season. Would be a nice one to pick up for sure, especially coming off a 2-game losing streak. You'd like to see the women go ahead and rattle off 3 straight wins heading into the tournament. Stay hot, stay up to speed with things. Now, Local 5's Cammy's there. He was actually at practice today, and he said the intensity was high. Coach Karius was really pushing the ladies to play physical, which is something we didn't see in that Northern Kentucky game. The Horizon League is a very physical, smash mouth basketball kind of conference. So getting the girls back into focus to end the season here. You weren't. You'd like to go perfect, but that's basketball. It could be anyone's night on any given day. Obviously, it was Cleveland State's night and Northern Kentucky's just a couple days ago. Now, what does that mean for an at-large bid? Green Bay's always been talked about. Hey, they're a solid team. They've always played. They're a pretty notable mid-major program. Always have been. There's Still no way they're getting an at-large bid, which, kind of stinks, especially with the season they've had. They've 15-2 conference, 20-7 overall. I mean, I could consider giving them at-large bids if they picked up this win over Wisconsin, took down NC State or Richmond, but those are more prestigious programs with better players. Washington, this would have been a really big win for the Phoenix, but just a couple losses in a row there with Miami, Ohio. I mean, these are all teams that are quote unquote a higher prestige than the Horizon League. You got Miami, Ohio in the MAC, which is a little better than the Horizon League typically. Washington in the Big Ten, Richmond in the American, I believe, or the Atlantic 10, excuse me. NC State in the ACC. Good win over Kansas State. Not sure how good they are this year, but they're in the Big 12. Badgers, Big 10. So you'd like to see if they were able to close the deal on a couple of these close ones like Wisconsin and Washington. That would have been a lot more helpful. But yeah, you're not going to see the Phoenix girls get an at-large bid, so they really do have to win their conference tournament. Otherwise, it could be a trip to the NIT. So we're going to go ahead and take our final commercial break. I think we might have taken 2 of them. It's just been all over the place today, but we're still moving and grooving. We'll go ahead and take care of you guys, and we'll be back in just 1 minute to wrap up the show. When it comes to solo shows like this, I like to try to do a little bit more preparing. So I just wanted to say I do apologize for it being kind of sloppy today with the way things have gone. No show is going to be perfect, obviously, but you still strive to make them as good as possible. Unfortunately, we had Sports Night record right before me here. So I wasn't able to put together graphics. And like I said, I was anticipating having a guest today, but that fell through last minute. So it's been kind of a chaotic, hectic show. So I do apologize for the way that has gone. But we're going to try to finish out strong here for you guys. Let's see. I want to pull up where is the right thing? One camera. Is this the right one? Yeah, take a look at what you're seeing right now is a little bit of the weather. I believe this is just a rotating thing. Here's some of the stuff that, we do have some rain and ice coming in. The next system is going to push to Wisconsin for a wintry mix into northeast Wisconsin. You can see, I think our weather guys are actually playing with the graphics right now. I believe that is our chief meteorologist, Luke Sanfey, getting things all ready for the show. He said whenever I want to, I can always just throw this on here and make sure everything, if when he's busy with stuff like this, I can go ahead and throw this on, make sure you guys can take a look at the weather, because obviously weather is one of the more important things, especially during the winter months in northeast Wisconsin here. So little look at Manitowoc, 39 degrees with a wind chill of 34, winds northeast 7 miles an hour. Beautiful, beautiful sky view camera there down in Manitowoc. Luke, what else you got for me? You playing anything else, or are we staying on the sky view? I think that might be it for the weather. But yeah, just we have an article written by Ryan Kudish out on our website, wearegreenbay.com, where you can get all the latest on the weather coming up here. And then what else? Let's go ahead and promote a couple final things before we end the show. Like I said, we do have Governor Tony Evers. He is delivering the State of the State address that will be streamed right here on WFRV Plus. And then as for the elections today, as we've reiterated plenty of times before, there is not a ton of races, but 7 of the 14 counties in northeast Wisconsin still are holding somewhat of a significant thing. We'll have the results kind of rotating through here on WFRV Plus. Later on tonight, you will catch, what do we got? The Near Fall with Devin Willems and Nick Whitwer, our wrestling show. They go in depth on WWE, AEW, things I don't really know about, but they certainly enjoy doing it. And for all your wrestling content, tune in for that. And then later tonight, like I said, Local 5's Cammy Zaire, he is in for WFRV Plus Sports Night, talking about the UW Green Bay women's basketball practice and a couple more topics along the lines there. So, all right, that is unfortunately really all the time we got for today. Just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry again for the bit of a sloppy show today, but we'll, we move forward and Hopefully, we'll make tomorrow a better day. But Local 5 News at 6 p.m. with the legendary Tom Zalaski and Stacey Engebretson is coming up right here on WFRV Plus shortly after. Until then, guys, you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. We'll catch you on Wednesday. Have a good rest of your night, guys.